Or wait, say that again. All right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Is there a live thing right now that I can click on to look at it? Yep. Yeah, I'm on it. Um. So I'm going to the live. Or okay. All right. So it looks like Matt's opponent has gone first. Um. Tyler, who is Matt's opponent? Yeah. Um. Yeah. I can't quite make out that right letter on Frank's rack. Uh, I'm gonna text Matt. Yeah. It's make things more interesting when you have two people. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just what is this? Oh, Chianti's. Nice. Yep. It's probably Matt's only playable bingo. Yeah. He's off to a great start. Ah, very nice. It's a double double right there. So that's going to be 86 points for Frank. Great turn for him. Oh yeah, I just counted it up real quick. Um, yeah, Matt's got an interesting turn here. He's got a lot of clunk. He has two V's, which is really not ideal. V and the K don't go well together. Um, if he can play off maybe like a V and a K or something, then um, he might be okay for next turn. That will at least get him closer to a bingo, even if he doesn't get a bingo right away. Um, but he does have some potential to score here. Yep. Yeah, that's right. They got some good stuff to work with, and you're right about them having good vowel to consonant ratios. Um, the entire Scrabble bag is composed of 56 consonants, 42 vowels, and two blanks. So that is an exact 4-to-3 ratio of consonants to vowels in the bag at the start of the game, and that's what you want to be going for. Ideally, you have four consonants and three vowels in your rack, and that's exactly what Matt has. And Frank is pretty close to that. He's a little vowel heavy. He's got four vowels and three consonants, but he does have consonants to help him out on the board. He's got orienter. He's got a reorient. He has erection, neoteric. He's got a few options here, and I don't know how Matt's going to block all of those. It's probably not possible, but yeah, it looks like he's got Kiva set up on his rack. Leaving live looks like a pretty good option. Um, he could also get a few more points if he plays Vakil, Vakil. Um, but yeah, Kiva looks like a good option here. What do you think you would do on this turn, Kyla? Chianti's. Yep. Yeah, there's oh yeah, there are a lot of weird words that don't seem like English in the Scrabble dictionary, but they are technically words. And he's going to play Vakil. This looks like a good option. It scores well. It's going to score 24 points, which is decent, and gets rid of the K and the V, which is going to be crucial if Matt wants to um, head toward his second bingo of the game. Uh, yeah, he was trying to get rid of that clunk, but the tile bag is not really letting him do that. He is playing Reorient, which is definitely not his best bingo. It's good that he got a bingo down, but Neoteric definitely would have been better. Doesn't get back a triple triple. It scores more. This is a slight mistake by Frank, but overall, it's a good play. Yeah, D2 is a tough field, and these players are right at the top of it. They're both quite strong. Yep. Yeah, with a lot of these games, you can expect to see some fireworks. He's probably going to play Jiver to the triple word. Um, Seems like it's not really too much to think about, unless he has like a big X bomb or something. Yep, this looks like a great play by Matt. I think the only other thing I would have looked for is to see if there could have been some kind of X bomb or something. Um, which, if he can get the X on a triple letter going both ways and to score upward of 50 points, but Jibber is going to score 45, which is pretty close to that. I don't really think he could have done better than Jibber. And I wish I could see the last tile on Frank's rack. Oh, he's got Bebby set up on his rack. That's not a word. I think that just Matt trying to joke around and put on a show for the viewers, which I always like a good showman. That makes the stream more interesting. Yep, it seems like a solid choice. Although I would have liked to see what his last tile was because it's hard to analyze these kinds of plays if you don't know the full rack. Okay, yep, yeah, I see that. Then, yeah, Matt's continuing to draw into clunk. He's got two Bs, three Es. So he's got a duplicate and a triplicate, which you really want to avoid in pretty much all cases. Um, yeah, you want to try to have all unique tiles. Yeah, for sure. It looks like he's got Ebbet set up on his rack. He's going to score 27, get rid of his duplicate Bs and triplicate Es, and keep one E. One E is, I think, the exact number of Es that Matt wants to keep. And he's going with Ebbet. This is a solid play. Uh, I don't see any really um, killer X bombs that he could have done that would have been worth not playing Ebbet. I think this is a clear choice. Oh, when he draws the Q, he cannot escape the clunk. I'd be kind of frustrated if I were Matt, even though he's making solid scores. Oh my god, QMMXW. This is so bad. What an atrocious draw. Yeah, Matt is still very much in this game. Um, yeah, still a lot of game left to play. I don't know exactly what the score is right now, but I think it's probably close. Maybe Matt has a bit of a lead. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does this turn. He might just exchange. Um, he well, he could try to get rid of his Q. He's got a couple spots to play QI, although that's only 11 and it keeps XMMW, which is that's just not worth playing 11 points. I think exchanging and trying to really gun for that bingo is going to be better than just playing QI for 11. Uh, he has um, he has Mew alongside Roadster, and that's going to be 24 points. Which, gets rid of an M, gets rid of a W. It does keep the QX, and 24 is like it's an okay score, but it's not great. Um, I don't know. If I were Matt, I would seriously be considering exchanging. If he doesn't, it might take a few more turns uh, to navigate his way out of this rack, and not just not sure that he can score enough to have that be worth it. He can exchange any amount of tiles from one to all of them, and he is exchanging. I like this. I like this a lot. reading my mind. Although I don't. Now he has kind of the opposite problem. He's got so many vowels. Yeah. I don't know about this play. Um, by Frank, I really would have tried to get more of some consonants, or yeah, more of some clunky consonants. He's keeping F G Y, which even though he has a blank, I highly doubt he's going to even come close to bingoing next turn. Um, yeah, and the S is pretty valuable on this board, being able to hook Roadster. If you don't leave the uh, and if you don't hook Jivers, you can hook it with an S on a future turn to maybe bingo there. So I think this was a mistake. Uh, oh wow, and he did actually draw into a bingo. He drew frame. Yeah, I don't think this is actually a playable bingo. Yeah, unless Matt gives him something. Frames isn't good. Nope, he does not. Yeah, exactly. There is a chance that Matt might open something up that would allow Frank to play his bingo. Uh, yeah, Matt's goal here is going to be definitely to get rid of some vowels, make it so he has a good consonant to vowel ratio. Uh, he played a Deems, which is a good play. That's going to score 32, which when you're overladen with vowels like that, scoring 32 looks like a pretty good option. And from Matt's point of view, there are still two blanks in the bag. So you have to consider turnover here also, the number of tiles that you're playing on any given turn, and what that's going to give you more chances to draw into. Like if there's a bunch of stuff in the pool that you don't want to draw, maybe you want to play shorter. But if there are still two blanks out there, and I guess one more S from Matt's point of view, then that might be worth playing off a few more tiles. I don't think he gave Frank a bingo. Um, no, I think he's just gonna have to. Yeah, I mean, you gotta try for the bingo when you can have a leave of RANG blank. It's a pretty great leave. You have to try to groom your rack and bingo on the next turn. That's definitely the right idea. I'm not sure he could have scored too much more because he didn't have an E to underlap the R in Roadster. Um, and it's not like he could have played alongside the A and was because he didn't have any vowels um, that you could put on the back of a W. He just had the A, and WA is not a word. So I think this is a pretty reasonable play from Frank. Yeah, that's the blank though. We know that's the blank. He has Cranoge off of the E. Yeah, Crannoge. It's kind of tough to spot, but I wouldn't put it past Frank to play. He's a very experienced player, knows lots of words. He definitely could find this bingo, but he also might not. And it will be playable. Yep. Looks like a pretty good play. Makes it so Frank can't use that S, which is a really good bingo lane. Um, when Matt redrew the Q, this is brutal. Hate to see it. Yep. QE is a terrible combination. I think, what is he doing? I don't think he has any bingos ending in ER. So maybe he was going to play Canner there or something. It looks like based on how his bracket's up, he doesn't see Cronoge. Um, it's looking at this point like he's not going to find it unless he takes some more time and uh, thinks about it a bit more. Ooh, yep. Matt got a lucky break here. This is a big miss for Frank, but it's a hard word to find. Can't blame him too much. I definitely want to. Yeah, I did nationals, D1 nationals last year, and I loved it. So I would definitely do it again, and hopefully the logistics end up working out. That'd be pretty great. I love playing Matt. Played him many times. He's a fun player. He's very strong. Yeah, we've had a lot of good games. If I'm Matt now, I think I just gotta plunk the Q down somewhere because EELNOR is it's not like it's not the best bingo league, but like it's not bad. I don't think it's worth exchanging here and giving up 11 points. Yep, he has drawn the Q twice. He drew it once, threw it back, and now he's drawn it again. So tough break for Matt. Yep. Yeah, the tile gods are kind of like, Matt, you're playing the Q. There's nothing you can do about it. You just got to suck it up and move on to the next turn. Yep. Yep. Yeah, Matt has drawn a lot of E's this game. Um, yeah, most of them. Yeah, he's made pretty solid plays. I can't identify any clear mistakes that Matt's made. I think he's playing quite well, and he's just had some unfortunate draws. Yeah, if I had to choose, I'd rather play well and get unlucky than get lucky and not play well. I'm not sure what Matt has set up here. It looks like he's going to play off ENORE somewhere. Not sure where, and leave himself with QL. Where is he going to play that? Yeah, the board's looking pretty close at this point. You got the V in Vakil, which you can't make any parallel plays with because there are no two-letter words with V or C. And same goes for the C in Chiantis. It's not like you can parallel that either. Um, I don't think that's really the idea because he's just really not going to be able to score very much with that. I mean, in some situations, a play like Eco or something um, would be good because you could play a bingo off of the O and Eco, setting yourself up for like setting up another lane. But there's not enough space. There are only 6 tiles to work with if you play Eco, so that wouldn't quite work here. Um, what did Matt do here? I don't think I saw it. Did he? Oh, I think he exchanged QL. No, he doesn't have the L anymore either. He exchanged QL. Um, I don't really see. I think this might be a mistake by Matt because um, you can get rid of the Q for 11 and have like a very similar quality of leave with EEONLR as just EEON. It's not. It's real. I highly doubt that's even close to an 11-point difference. So I think this might be Matt's first mistake of the game, and would have liked to see him play QI somewhere. That'd be really funny if he draws it a third time. I feel bad for him, but it'd be funny. Yeah. I don't know if I would make this play either. I think I might have played EX to get rid of the duplicate E's. Because even though E's are definitely one of the best tiles in the game, it's still not ideal to have 2 of them. But maybe Matt's fishing for something specific. It's a possibility. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if he had kept the O instead of the E, he would have had trodden. But he also wouldn't have had a place to put that, so I'm not sure how much that would have mattered. Yep, it's had it for a few turns now. Do you know what that last letter on the right is? So he would have Lorgnon then, which is pretty obscure, if he makes the blanket G. But again, this board is so close that he's just okay. E. So if he has a bingo ending in E, then he could bingo off of Fry. Yeah, I didn't see any bingos that he could make with that rack. I just looked it up and there aren't any. Um, but this is a turn that I might spend quite a bit of time on just to make sure I'm not missing something. Wait, I thought it was Frank's turn and not Matt's. Never mind. I think this makes sense. He's getting rid of his duplicates. He had two Ds and two Es, and now he only has one of each. Yeah, and this is where knowing the score would be helpful. Um, because if Matt's down by a bunch, then the board being closed is not going to be good for him. Because when you're down, you want an open board so there are just more opportunities uh, to bingo and or have big scoring plays and get yourself back in the game. If you're winning, you want to keep the board closed um, to rob your opponent of those opportunities and maintain your lead. So depending on what the score is, Matt's strategy could be very different. Yeah, it's I think yeah, it's currently Frank's turn because Matt just played Redox. But yeah, this is a tough turn for Frank. You really got to make sure that you're not missing a bingo ending in E. Um, yeah, if he misses that, then it can make huge difference in the game. It can happen at nationals. So how it works is that um, you're initially you're divided into different groups, like groups of four, I think, and then um, each group of four plays a round robin. So the first three games, your opponents have already been decided for you, and then after that, um, you're paired based on your record. So if you like are winning a lot of games, then you're going to be paired with other people who are also winning a lot of games. So it's possible that Frank and Matt could have just been paired randomly at the beginning, and now they have similar records later in the tournament, and so now they're paired again based on their records. Matt's drawn a blank. Yeah, but yeah. Wife looking like a solid play for Matt. Gets rid of the F and the W, and scores 24 in the process. Pretty solid. It looks like a standout play. Then I think Frank's rack is Milo blank ON. Yeah. He has monofill, but nowhere to put it. Gotta have something starting now. Yep. Oh, he does have a possible bingo actually. He has a Frank has Oinomel. So that's Oinomel. He makes the blanket E. Kind of hard to see. News for Matt is if that Frank does play Oinomel, then he's going to have any number of bingos hooking Do, and getting the triple word score. So that's going to be it's going to score a good bit more than Frank's bingo would have, but he's not going to play Oinomel. So then the situation is probably going to be reversed then, because Matt will uh, probably play um, from the D in Wifed unless he has some nine starting with US or OM. And then if he does that, then Frank is probably just going to bingo back with the higher scoring bingo. So now Matt's kind of in a tough position. Trust. Yep. Ideally, what I mean, he can play DE. He does have a place to play it. I think he's just considering the potential counterplays is why he's hesitating. And if there's a way to possibly um, avoid having any huge counterplay by Frank, maybe what he's doing is he's trying to have a bingo starting with RE so he can hook inane to make inaner, which is good. Inane is an adjective that compares, so inaner, inaneness. And then you can't hook inaner because it's just an adjective and it doesn't take any hooks. And then that'd be much harder for Frank to respond to. So I think he's just really trying to make sure that he doesn't have any better options. That's that's really good on Matt for doing that. Like one pretty important lesson in Scrabble is whenever you find a bingo, don't immediately play it. Look to see if you have a better bingo. Yeah, I think everybody should play Scrabble personally. It's one of the greatest games ever invented, in my opinion. And yeah, it's fun. Everybody should give it a shot. Oh yes. Yeah, there's a lot of different tasks mentally that you're trying to accomplish at the same time. Looks like he's going back toward Entrust, possibly. It looks like Entrust and Attunes are the only bingos he can actually play from the D in column N right there. I think Attunes might have been a bit better because you can hook and trust with an S, and Attunes you can't hook that with anything. Um, but I don't think it really makes much of a difference because either way, whether you play Entrust or Attunes, it opens up column O with the triple word scores in it in a pretty dangerous way. So way more likely that that's what's going to get used. He's pulled the cue for a third time. Matt must be tilting so hard right now. This is so frustrating. This is hard to watch. Oh, and Matt's only drawn 6 tiles, so the bag might be empty, and Frank could bingo out for a big score. Not just any bingo, but like maybe like 80 points or something, and then catch Matt with uh, 26 points in his rack, so he would get an additional 52 points for Matt's remaining tiles if he bingos out. I wish I could see what Frank's tiles were. Um, gotcha. Yeah, I can't see why Frank would be um, taking a while to just bingo out unless unless his other tiles are so bad. Yeah, if he has 3 O's, then he might actually not be able to bingo out. Okay, so he's got IIOOLN blank. Right, I think that might be the N. If his rack is OOIIL blank, then he doesn't have any playable bingos. So if he can't bingo, then one thing that's one pretty important tactic in endgames is the Q stick. So that means that you leave your opponent without a place to play the Q, and they're stuck with it. They can't go out. And then when you go out, you can collect 20 points from your opponent because of that unplayable Q. So Frank might be seeing, trying to determine if Matt can play his Q, and if he can play his Q, how can he block it? What's the best way to block? But I don't think Frank actually has to block any Q plays. Or no, he has QI and GI in the top left. But I think that's all he has. So if he can block that, then Matt's Q stuck. Yeah, me too. Um, yeah, him being not being able to bingo out makes it a lot more interesting potentially, depending on what the score is. If it's a close game, then it could be pretty complicated because then you have the you can Q stick him, but then he's still got the Z that he can get a lot of points with. Like he can play Zip and On in row two, and that would be for 41. So that's a lot of points. So even if he gets Q stuck, maybe he can outrun in spite of that. also wonder how much time each player has. Um, I know Matt often doesn't leave a lot on his clock toward the end of the game. He really likes to think through positions, really wants to find the best move, and also what he likes to do is he likes to play really close boards, which often take more time to think about. Um, and he likes to put his opponents in positions where they have to think really hard. He makes yeah, he just likes to make things really complicated for his opponent. It's kind of his playing style. Got a very close board. You still got some power tiles in play. Makes things interesting. There's no time limit per turn. How it works is you get 25 minutes per person per game, and you have 10 minutes of overtime. So you can take as long as you want on any one turn, but the longer you take on one turn, the less time you have for other turns. So you have to, it's a skill to manage how much time to spend on each turn in a way that um, that just makes that just makes things optimal. And yeah, I'm taking a look at while we wait for these players to figure out this end game here. Taking a look at the leaderboard here for Division Two, and Matt's doing well. He's in sixth right now. He's 13-6 with a spread of 546. Um, he's looks like he's one game behind first in first place. There's Callum with a record of 14-6 and 1,097 spread. So if Matt wins this game, then he'll actually be tied for first. In terms of wins and losses, at least his spread isn't quite as good, so um, he wouldn't actually jump up to first place, but be very close. It looks like there are three other players who are 14-6 right now. So if Matt's 14-6, um, then it's going to be a tight race between several of these players in D2. Oh, and it looks like Frank does block Matt's Q play, and then Matt plays Zip. That makes a lot of sense, and he also sets up his Q to play QI on top of where he just played Zip. So I like this play a lot from Matt. It's probably his best option. But now one thing that Frank can do is he can slow play. Like usually in end games, you want to try to go out in the fewest amount of turns as you possibly can, so you can catch your opponent with a lot of tiles in their rack, hopefully. But if you know that your opponent won't be able to get rid of their tiles no matter how long you take, like there's going to be nowhere for Matt to play his Q if Frank blocks a spot, then you can take your time and just plunk down one tile um, every turn and really just try to get as many points out of your remaining tiles as you can, knowing that your opponent is helpless to stop you because they are just out of moves. That's one of the beautiful things about Scrabble is there's always more to learn. You never get to a point where, and maybe unless you're Nigel and you know literally everything about this game, there's still more to know. That's what keeps it really interesting, and it makes it more fun when you haven't figured everything out and you're still learning and still improving. Yeah, I mean, if I'm Frank, then it seems pretty clear that you got to block Matt's only Q play, which is on top of Zip. But problem is you can't really um, block the play and score a whole lot. I think the highest scoring way to block QI would be to play Oil, and that would only be 9 points. So not getting a lot of points on a turn, but and yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Yep. And this is potentially a smart move, keeping the T back, because one trap that it's possible to fall into is that you spend all your tiles, your low point tiles, um, and you keep only the Q, and then you can't stop your opponent from making setups that they wouldn't be able to make if you had the tiles that you needed to block their setups, and you hadn't already spent them on other plays. But it looks like Frank is just gonna go out. Probably gonna make that blanket P. That's gonna be 17 points, and I hope we get to know what the scores are at some point. I guess maybe at least when they update the leaderboard on cross tables. Yeah, cool. And another thing that they have on stream sometimes is an overhead mic so that you can actually hear the post-mortem or post-game discussion of just players explaining their thought processes and just seeing maybe what they could have done better. And it's often pretty interesting to hear what players have to say after the fact. Well, it looks like Matt won that game 4-12, 3-3, 58. So great job, Matt. He's currently tied first. A few people in fourth, 14-6 winning him. Uh, so that's awesome. Apparently, Frank won a couple of those overtime. So he lost a few points for that. It didn't really change the result of the game. But for every minute or a part of a minute, you go overtime, you lose 10 points. So let's say you go over by a minute and a half, then you lose by 20 points. You lose 10 points for the first minute, and then you lose another 10 points for the another 30 seconds. So that's how that works. Currently, looking at the chat, there's something wrong with my audio. Um, Apparently, it's crackling. Uh, Might be because, yeah, I guess chat will have to tell us if things improve. Maybe it's because I was a bit too far away from the mic. Um, I was moving around. Okay, saying it was good before, and then just at the end it started crackling. So hopefully it's just a small blip. Okay, saying now it's okay. All right. So I'm not going to change anything that I'm doing, and I guess it should be fine. It looks like they're gotcha. Oh, and looks like Matt is up to second place at the moment. Love to see it. He's he's about 500 spread behind first place, and he's doing better than most of his opponents who are 14-6 right now. So in a very strong position. Um, I think there are 31 games, so there are still 11 games left to play. Playing a Scrabble, anything can happen. Matt is definitely still in contention to win this division. And do you know if we have one game left to play today, or if that's it? Yeah, at least they can hear my audio. Okay, and chat says there should be one more game today, so that's great. We get to keep talking about Scrabble, which, you know, it's a great way to spend an afternoon, in my opinion. This time, I think I'll try to keep track of the score better, so I can keep everybody updated as as uh, as the game goes.
Okay, and then I just added on something here. Can people maybe hear me now? Okay, I am getting a call from Matt, so hold on. I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Apparently, according to chat, Kylo, I can't hear you at the moment. Something else that's going well for Matt at the moment is that he has gained 38 rating points and puts him at a rating of 1806, and that's a pretty significant milestone, hitting 1800. Um, yeah, very hard to do that. Very few people can do that. Um, and one interesting thing is that, given how the rating system works, once you hit 1800, it's actually each game actually impacts your rating less than it did before you hit 1800. Um, yeah, each there's some yeah each rating gain or loss when you're under 1800 is multiplied by 20, and when you're between 1800 and 2000, it's multiplied by 16, and then when you get over 2000, it's multiplied by 10. So as you get to be higher rated, each win or loss is less impactful.
All right, and then can those that are here in the chat, can they hear me now that I've adjusted something? Because I know I was told that they couldn't hear me, so maybe they can hear me now. Because you can still hear me, right, David?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you,
Okay.
Kyla.
All right. So now I. Okay. So
Okay,
yes, they can hear.
apparently
Cool.
chat can hear you.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So that
Excellent.
was what was the issue then? Okay. So we got that fixed. Good. I know Matt gave me a call just to see how we were doing on our end here. So I'll shoot him a message, let him know that we are all set, that we got that fixed.
Oh, and it looks like we got a good match next. We got the guy in first place. We got the guy in second place. It's going to be Matt versus Callum.
Matt
This is
versus.
going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to commentating on this.
Um, I am also looking forward to this. I'm very interested to see where we're gonna go because we got I know I saw Callum up there in the first place for a while as I've been watching the scoreboard throughout the days. So to see Matt right up there now.
Let's see. Wow, I'm looking at Callum's page on Cross Tables, and he has been playing for a year and a half, and he is already approaching 1800, which is crazy fast. That's a very impressive ascent there. Oh, and looks like they're getting started.
That is very impressive.
Uh,
I'm not really sure what all that means,
yes,
but it
very
sounds
impressive indeed.
not really sure what it all means technically, but it does sound very impressive. It looks like Matt has just did his first turn with Jewess. Is that am I pronouncing these words right? If I'm not, please help me.
Yeah, pronunciation isn't my strong suit either.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Jehu's, I think, is how that's
Jehu's
pronounced,
okay.
and that's going to be 46, which is a very solid score. Yeah, one thing that you got to try to do if you have the J on your opening play is to get it on the double letter, because then it ends up being multiplied by 4. You get it doubled from the double letter, and you also get it doubled from the double word. Oh, and he has suzerain. Oh, this is sick.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, what a great play by Callum.
It's a great play, and also including a bingo with using up all of those and the blink on the first play.
Yeah, this is going to be um, 101 points. What an excellent opening turn. You can't ask for much better than 101 points on an opening play.
That that is
Wow,
insane.
getting absolutely punished for
Oof.
Jehu's, even though probably the right play. At least I didn't see a better option.
Yeah. Let's see, what does he come back with? Jammin'? That what it is? Jammin'? Yeah.
Oh, Jowin.
Oh,
Yep, this seems to be
it's a W. Jar.
stand-up play. Yeah,
That's-
yeah, it's 30 points. It's like a solid option. So even though Callum just got a 101 point bingo, he's only up by 25. It's a pretty even game. So Matt shouldn't be too scared of Suzerain, and I don't think he is. I think Matt's probably feeling pretty okay at this point. But
Nice.
Callum actually has a really good play in Doxel. So INDOXYL off the I in Suzerain, which could be a lot of points.
He
But
played Detox
yeah,
instead.
Detox might be better. That's yeah, it gets the X on that double word there. So that's gonna be uh,
And then again, Matt with all the vowels
that's gonna
today.
be 51. Makes a score of 76 for Matt and 152 for Callum.
So they're getting close there. He's getting close. He's catching up to theirs. I'm really interested to see what Matt could play with what he has in his rack.
Yeah, do you know what that last tile over to the right is?
It is a R, I believe. I believe I saw it, but it was an R. No, it's E.
No.
It's an E. I'm mistaken.
Oh yeah, I see chat suggesting Zuisha, um,
Okay.
which is a pretty good option for getting getting through all those vowels, just leaving him with a C, which is a pretty good one-tile leave. So that's it's looking pretty good.
But does Matt spot it though? That's the other question. Does he spot the word?
And if he does play it, is he confident about the hooks on it? There are no hooks to Zuisha. And often when you see these words that end in an AI, they can take an S, they can take an N, an E, an L, even an R maybe. But this particular word does not take any hooks. So then if Callum tries to hook it, maybe put an S or an L on it, then hopefully Matt would challenge it off.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it looks like here that Callum is really mixing up some words here. I saw he had, betrayal a little bit, bell, try. So he's really kind of mixing up, trying to see what he can create with. I think he's really trying to aim for another bingo.
Yep. Yeah, it's he's uh not too far from a bingo if he just gets rid of the B and the Y and I guess one of his L's, and he could be setting himself up pretty well for next turn.
Okay, so Matt did play into the Z, but he did not play Zoatia. He played um Zoic. Looks like he's played a Zoic.
So okay, this is also a good option. Gets rid of a lot of his vowels, leaves him with one consonant and two vowels, which is it's okay. Um, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those racks that there are no good options. You just gotta kind of turn over as many tiles as you can and um, just move on to the next turn.
But he did good though. And now let's
Yep,
see
I think
what
that's a pretty solid play.
I'll see what our friend here can play. Rely. Okay. Which also builds onto some other words as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Scores 26. Yeah. Uh,
And from what I'm seeing here, I know that last letter on Callum's is cut off. That one was a T. That was an L and a T there. For both of them, they both have some pretty decent, vowel and consonants. Matt
yeah, Callum has bidental through the N
identical.
in suzerain.
Okay, so let's see if he'll play it.
Yeah, it's Matt's turn at the moment.
It's
Um, oh, he has unclothed through the N.
okay. He does have that one. Will he play it? I mean, he could play it, and it
Yeah,
would be wise to come back with a bingo in return.
yeah. The problem with unclothed is that it just gives so much back. Because it stops right before the triple word, and you can put an S on it, you can put a D on it.
Mm.
Callum happens to have a D.
Yeah, so if he does play it, Callum could easily just steal that.
Yep. Not work out too great for Matt. Although I think probably if it's the only bingo, then um, probably still worth it. And yeah, the only other 8 you can make with that is sell couth, and there's no open S. So unclothed is going to be his only bingo. And I think if he sees it, he's probably just got to play it and take a bit of a risk.
Let's see. Let's see if he plays it, if he takes the risk, or if there's maybe something else that's popping out to him that's not popping out to us. Okay, there's some tile movement going on. Oh, looks like he is going for the unclothed.
I think this is smart. He's taking a risk, but I think when it's your only bingo, you can't worry about that too much.
Yeah.
Callum has labiated now, so he can respond with a bingo.
Okay.
Although I think, lucky for Matt, Callum can't bingo and hook unclothed at the same time.
Now, is that just something that's not allowed in the Scrabble rules? That you can't hook and bingo at the same time? Or is that just
Oh no,
not feasible right now with what he has going on?
it's just exactly. It's just not possible right now with his rack.
Okay.
Because there are no 7-letter words in that rack unless missing something. And no, there are no 7-letter words with Callum's rack right now. So the best he can do um, is make an 8. I really like labiated here because scores well, gets to be on the double letter, gets a double word as well. You can't hook labiated because it's the past tense of a verb. Um, it makes the unclothed hooks much less volatile because you can only hook unclothed and play a single letter to the left of it. So you can still get a lot of points for it, but not as much as if Callum doesn't play labiated and doesn't make any attempt to obstruct it. He was also looking at editable, which is good play. It's also a bingo, but it's way more volatile because it puts the E right over the triple word score, and Matt could have untold counterplay with that. So I think, Callum definitely saw editable, but he's trying to see if there's something better. Going back to what I said earlier about um, just because you find a bingo, you don't want to play it immediately. You always want to see if there's a better option, and that's what Callum's doing.
Yeah, no, definitely see him shifting through his letters, making up different plays. See a little bit of where his head is at with, with the way he's organizing his rack, moving things around. So, it looks like, oh, he's actually playing something now. Okay, so he played table. Yep, I wasn't sure if he was going to play that or not. I saw him moving that around a bit on his rack there for a few.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, this might actually score more than a bingo. More than labiated, just because that triple word score being applied to both words is just going to rack up so many points.
How many points would that rack up? Do you happen to know?
81. So that actually, that would have been more than labiated because you get 27 points from just the tiles without any bonus squares, and then you multiply that by 3, so 27 times 3 is 81. And now Callum is up by 102. It's 157 to 259. He has Be Vegan
Yeah, I
lined
saw
up on his
that. Oh
rack.
my
That's
goodness.
great.
I was gonna take a picture of that with his little face picture. The Be Vegan.
So I believe Matt is vegan, right?
Yeah, he is. He's
Yeah,
definitely
so
gonna go
I
back
love
and
that for Matt.
screenshot. He's definitely gonna go back and screenshot that one.
Yep. Yeah, that's entertaining stuff. I like that for Matt. I like what I'm seeing.
If only he could play Be Vegan, right?
I'd like to think that Callum would challenge that, but it would be funny.
Yeah. It looks like Callum could play dynamic. He could play it off of that C from a Zoic.
He could do that, and that would be 30 points. Be a pretty solid play, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Matt's thinking right now about how he's going to unload some of these clunkier consonants. He's got the B and the V and the G together, which those really don't pair well. He's gonna try to offload some of that stuff so he can get to his next bingo as soon as possible.
Oh yeah.
Because now he's down 102 points. He's going to need to bingo at least once to catch up.
Yes. Oh, he just placed down. What did he place down? We got Avenge.
Okay, Venge.
Okay.
I like this play.
I feel like that at least
It's going to
him.
be 28.
Yeah, got rid of most of his clunky letters and the duplicate vowels that he had, but still left him
Yep.
with a vowel and a consonant to work off of.
Yeah,
And
this is looking pretty solid.
and just as he got rid of his double vowel, he also just chose double vowels, two double vowels. Oh,
Yeah, not looking like a great draw for Matt here.
oh man. Okay, and then
So Callum plays Dam
plays down.
for 34. Pretty solid score.
I'm very interested now for what Matt could do. Would I mean
Yeah, this
he could
is pretty
exchange
terrible.
tiles.
This is a bad draw.
Would you recommend at this point that he just kind of like exchange some tiles?
Yeah, unless he got a good foul dump here, which I'm not really seeing. He's got to exchange. Um, yeah, like maybe if there were a C in the right place, he could play Cooee, Cooee. That's a valid word, often a useful vowel dump. But C is not in the right place for that.
Yeah.
If the end weren't blocking, if the end in avenge were word is, or if the end were just one to the left, he could play beacon, getting rid of A, B, E, O. But it's just barely not in the right place for that.
Oh, okay. Instead, he played the word ocean.
Yeah, this is great, just
That
getting rid of
is,
3 vowels.
yeah. You know, you got
And he sets up a good bingo lane for himself. That's great. Yeah, I can hook that O in ocean to play 7-letter words there. That's yeah, I really like this play from Matt.
and he didn't have to exchange out any tiles either, which is good. Because
Nope.
don't players lose points for exchanging tiles, or do they not lose points?
No, they'll lose points, but
Okay.
you score 0, which is bad,
Yeah.
and you want to avoid that if you can.
And just as he got rid of some letters, he came hollering back with the vowels. The vowels just really love him this afternoon.
Yeah,
And
although I think it's not a bad balance. He has 3 consonants and 4 vowels, which is that's you can work with that.
yeah. I mean, he's been working with
The
it
thing
right
is,
along.
yeah.
And I'm really interested for what Callum could play.
If I'm Callum right now, I'm thinking about how can I block up the board as much as possible to maintain my lead, because he's up by 97 at the moment, and
Okay.
he's going to want it to stay that way for sure.
Oh yeah.
So he's probably going to try to block the O in ocean and um, the row above tabled if possible, because those are 2 pretty good spots to bingo. Also off of the E and avenge, might be able to block all of them potentially because all those lanes are kind of in the same place, even though there are multiple bingo lanes.
Oh yeah. Forgot what the that last letter that he has off to the very right is there. I think
That's a
it's a
Y.
Y. Okay.
Yep. I think if he plays Yowie off of the E and avenge, that could be pretty good. Um, because instead of having 3 pretty solid lanes to work with, if he plays Yowie, then Matt's going to have to end his bingo in either an A or an O or an E to hook the Y in Yowie. And even if he can do that, he's going to get back a lot of counterplay in that bottom row. So I think Yowie is what I would like to see from Callum here.
But unfortunately, he did not. He ended up playing Wig, the W and the I, build it off of.
Yeah, this is not the right idea, I think. He doesn't really seem to be concerned about closing down bingo lanes. And if he's not careful, he could give Matt an opportunity to come back in this game.
Well, it looks like Matt kind of just took some. He added on the RE to his table to Callum's previous word tabled, so he got
The thing is, that
retabled.
isn't good.
That's not good.
Retable is good,
Yeah,
um,
because that isn't that also
but
with
it's
like
a
that.
noun.
But isn't it also with tripled? Isn't there also that triple point in that corner?
Uh, he only gets one of the triple word scores because the other one was already covered.
Oh, okay.
Um, but it looks like Callum let it go. It's pretty plausible, even though it isn't good. Uh, yeah, that's going to be 33 points for Matt. So now it's 232 to 316. Matt, if Matt just bingos, then he's back in this game.
It looks like Callum's trying to do yogurt right now.
Yep, it's got yogurt set up, but I don't see a good place to play that. Or really any place to play that, actually.
Yeah,
Because you can't hook the O in ocean because OT isn't a word.
yeah.
Doesn't really fit with row 14 overlapping retabled. Yeah, it's not going to be able to play yogurt, but even if words aren't playable, it's still good to think of them and just try to consider all your options.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's definitely mixing up his letters. They're both mixing up the letters that they have on their rack to different opportunities.
Trying to think about what I would do if I were Callum here. I still think you got to try to block those lanes. You're still up a bingo. Um,
Yeah, because I don't. I mean, with what he has available with him, along with what can be played on the board, I don't think he can. I mean, I'm sure a bingo would be possible somewhere, but I don't know if there is one right now.
Definitely not for Callum. Mm. Yeah, but if he just plays, I don't know, your or something, YOUR off the R and retabled, then that makes it way harder for Matt to bingo because can't play any sevens. He has to play through the O of your.
Yeah, he did play down words. It looks like he did not go for the bingo. He went for Yogan or for the
No,
your.
yeah, he's just really not focusing on being defensive at all. Um, this is he's not thinking as strategically as he should.
I think what happened is that he placed the bingos and in the beginning to give him that advantage so that way he can kind of use this time to not do so much brain thinking and to just kind of get points out.
Yeah, I mean that's always good to do is just to get off to an early lead
Yeah.
and then hopefully if you keep up your momentum then you can just cruise to a win. So that's ideal if you can make that happen.
And it looks like Matt
And
placed.
Matt's going to get 16 points for that.
Yeah. And the From what I'm seeing on both sides, they both got some pretty good potential with their ratios of vowels and consonants. And then also with Callum now drawing that blank tile as well.
Yeah, Matt is votable, and he sees that votable is a valid word, and he's got a couple places to play it. He's got it off of the Y in Yogan, making YE, and he's also got it off of the R in retabled. Um, and you see, this is why you got to play defensively, because Matt can draw things like this and have multiple places to play them, and then it's a close game in a situation where you could easily have made it not a close game. Um, it pays to play defensively when you have a strong lead.
And it looks like that Callum had just put down a pup. And now it looks like he is going for the word votable, Matt. Instantly. He saw the opportunity and he did not wait a second to pounce on it.
It's also possible that this might get a challenge. There are some of those, it's hard to tell which able words are good and which aren't sometimes. Um, there's a chance that Callum thinks this isn't good and challenges it, and then Matt is really back in this game. And maybe it looks like he might be on hold because Matt isn't drawing any tiles yet. And what I mean by on hold is that Callum is thinking about whether to challenge Matt, and so the clock is still on Callum's time. But it looks like he does not challenge. He has released the hold because Matt is now drawing tiles. So good decision on Callum's part.
So now if
He
someone
will not
is
lose.
so now if someone does challenge another player and say they like lose that challenge, do they just have to like replay that word? Like that word just can't be played?
No, you lose your turn.
You just lose your turn? Okay.
Yeah, it's high stakes.
Okay.
Which makes it really important to just study a lot and know your words well, and then you lose turns less often.
Okay. And then we can't see that last letter there on columns rack off to the right.
I'm not totally sure what that is.
I'm not sure, but from what we can see, he's got that A, the double I, that R, and that ST going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting more and more interesting as the board kind of progresses because it seems like on the board that the most of the right hand side is kind of filled in. So now they have kind of no choice but to kind of start branching off to the left.
Yeah, and Matt's only down 28 right now. It's 327 to 355 if I've done my math right. And like I said, it's now kind of a close game. But wow, yeah, Callum has such a great rack that he might still be fine, even though he let Matt bingo with votable just now. He's definitely trying to see if he has a triple.
Now, does Cal have any playable words right now to make a that could make a bingo?
He has plenty. He has plenty of bingo options. He has, I know, Intarsia if you make the like an N, off of the A in votable.
Because he does have that blank letter as well. And in the comments, we did get trivial just now. So yeah, Colin could make trivial too if he used that blank as a V, or used the V that's on the board.
He could, but then that wouldn't be a bingo because trivial doesn't use the S.
Oh, okay. So that wouldn't be a bingo, no, but he
He
could
has
use it.
artistic setup. He doesn't actually have any bingos through the V. There's aviaries, overitis, and vit trains. So he's not missing a triple here.
He did actually, I think, just pull a bingo though. I think he just did.
Yep. Yeah, there was no way he wasn't go there. His rack was just too good. There were plenty of options.
Yeah, especially with that blank tile too. That was really working in his favor.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, it looks like
And that's
he
68.
And I'll call him his letters. He's pulling. I see double I and M F, double I and M Q,
Boom,
double F,
drawing some clunk.
and I think that last letter might be an O or a C.
And the frustrating thing for Matt right now is that he actually has a 7-letter word. He has skirred, Skirred,
Okay.
but it doesn't look like it's playable.
So let's see. I know I haven't seen Matt actually move any of his letters yet on his rack, so that makes me think does he see something? Okay, so I guess he
I think
does.
he's probably most likely he's probably seen it very quickly. What a lot of advanced players do is that when they study, they look at the alphagram, so the letters in alphabetical order, which is what Matt had set up there, and then you look at that, and then you look at the solutions, and you kind of build a visual trigger, and that way when you see the alphagram in a game, you don't actually have to do the work of unscrambling the word. You can just see the alphagram, and then immediately think of the actual word or words that are available. So it's probably what Matt was doing. He has Dreiker set up, which is not good. It's must be just really making sure that he can't bingo with this because he's down. He's down 96 at this point. It's 327 to 423, and he really needs bingo here. Board is closing up fast, and he has very little time left uh, to get a bingo down. He really needs to.
Yeah. Does he now? Besides, I know he said was skirt. Is there any other possibility he could play for a bingo for what he has and what's
No, that's
available?
his. Yeah, it's his only 7-letter word, and there are no eights. That yeah, he doesn't have any eights to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to play an 8, he has to either use the B or V in votable or the C in artistic, and those really don't pair well with the letters that he has, unfortunately.
I'm very interested to see what he will play and where he will play.
For sure. He's probably going to try to keep the board as open as possible, set up another lane if he can. I'm not sure that he actually can at this moment. Looks like he might have Urk set up.
Yeah, looks like he did. He ended up playing that.
This this makes sense to me. It sets up Dirk with the D that he has. So he's yeah, just trying to set himself up for next turn. Doesn't look like he's committed to it yet. I guess he's maybe thinking of some other option he might do, some drawback to Urk. Um, I guess one drawback is that it does expose the triple word, so um, Callum could play off of the I in Urk and get the triple word score, get a whole bunch of points that way. But it looks like Matt's drawing more tiles and he has committed to Urk. I think that's a pretty solid play in this situation.
And then now, what could is it, do you see any possibility jumping out to you for what Callum could play? Or I think maybe he might see something. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
I think QI is kind of a standout option. Putting the Q next to the I in Urk because it makes it so you can't play a bingo if you hook Urk to make Dirk. No 7-letter words can fit there anymore because you can't have any two letter word ending with Q. And think both C's are out, so sync isn't an issue. CINQ, that's not a possible response at this point. Yeah, both blanks are out, both C's are out, so that's not something that Callum has to worry about. So he can pretty safely just plunk that Q down and stop what Matt's trying to do to open up the board.
He could, but I feel like from what we've seen from Column, I think he's going to try to play as many of the tiles as he can.
Yeah, it's also a good strategy. When you're ahead, um, how fast you bring the game to a close is also something to consider. Like if you have more turnover, then you're playing more tiles. There are going to be fewer turns because you're playing more tiles on each turn, and that gives your opponent fewer turns to catch up before the game's over. So that's perfectly decent strategy if Callum wants to play off um, 4 tiles instead of 1 to just get to the end of the game faster. I think that also makes sense, and he looks like he has Myth and Calf set up. He would play next to KA, and that would be 34. So considerable number of points. Yeah, that seems like a good choice.
Now let's just see if he ends up just doing it.
Yeah, another option is
He did go for the
triple
Q.
triple might be possible through the V, although it's unlikely.
Yeah. So
Yep, this makes sense. Q is usually a tile that you just want to get rid of as quickly as possible.
yeah.
Um,
But I mean, we got into kind of were anticipating that to happen anyways for him to play the QI.
yep, yeah, pretty reasonable play from Callum. And then Matt with another orphan bingo. Digress has nowhere to go on this board.
Now with the blank tile that's there on the board that Callum played a few turns ago, what letter is that to be? Again,
That's a C
that is C. Okay.
for artistic.
Okay.
I wonder what he's thinking of now. Maybe he's going to try to play off the GR somewhere. Um, Fish for another bingo. If I were Matt, something I might do is I might create a threat somewhere to distract Callum from where I actually want to play. Like, for example, if he hooks Ka and plays up from there and makes it so Callum is focused on blocking that, then maybe he draws a triple triple through the fee, and then that puts him right back in the game. So that's one tactic that you can do sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how Matt would go about that, but yeah, sometimes that's something that works.
So now I guess I don't know, both and anyone that's watching too, if you guys have any guesses, feel free to put them in. But for now we just have to kind of just keep on guessing until we see tiles being put down.
Mm-hmm. That's something that's really tricky for Matt. Like it's very hard to open new space on this board. I guess one of the few ways you can do that is you can play Rat for 4 points off of the AT and Detox and Jawin, because you can hook that with a G to make Rat and have a 7 ending in ING. But at the same time, scoring 4, like if you don't score enough, then even if you do hit your bingo, Callum could just score enough that one bingo from that isn't enough to win the game. Like often you have to um, score decently while you're fishing for your bingo. You can't just forget to score entirely, or your bingo might just not be enough.
Yeah, that is very true. Because even though bingo can get you points, you want to make sure you actually taking in what points you're playing, not just playing to play all the words, all letters.
Hmm. Something I might try to do here, if I were Matt, is try to um, maybe fish for a bingo that has an S in third position. So you could try artistics, even though artistic does not take any hooks. Um, maybe Callum doesn't know that, and he isn't confident enough to challenge it. So that's another possibility: is intentional phonies.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of playing intentional phonies. It's like poker, and bluffing. It's really analogous to that, and I think it's an underused tactic, and one that Matt is definitely not afraid to try. So we could see something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like that could be really helpful, especially with the more that we're kind of coming into a close on this board.
Yeah, it's gonna have to try something to get back in the game. That's for sure.
And it's definitely been, and very, very challenging with the both of them playing against each other.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Okay, this makes sense. He's
um,
undoubling his S's, and this sets up his final S to hook 3, because it does take an S. So he's created another bingo lane for himself. Now he's got 2 lanes. So there's some life in this board. He can hook 3, or he can play through the V and votable. He's got Sedgier on his rack, but there's nowhere to play it. This must be so frustrating for Matt.
I could imagine, because I know he's probably saying the same thing to himself. If only I had the space to play it. If only I could play it.
Yeah.
And then it looks like our friend Callum had just played Myth, adding on top of Arcs.
Yeah, I like this play from Callum. Does a good job of shutting down the board, not giving Matt anything back. Yeah, scores pretty solidly too. Mercs and Myth is 35 points. So now scores 374, 479. Matt's down 105.
Okay.
I think he's just giving up at this point, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
there's no way to open a new space. Or no, that's not actually true. No, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I were Matt, I would have tried to open the top row there and just try. Oh no, never mind. It looks like the bag was empty because Colin only has 3 tiles on his
yeah,
rack.
Matt
So it's really now or never for Matt.
Matt has that one last S. He could play it at the end of the artistic, make it artistics.
Be a very bad idea because then um, he
Ooh,
would
where would be the best
Callum would
playable
essentially
option?
just get a free challenge.
Where would be the best playable place for him to put the S? Do you think?
Um, I mean, it doesn't matter now because Callum's made his outplay and Matt won't get another turn. Um, but probably Jawins and L's in the top right.
Okay.
And just adding up these final scores here. Teams. I think it's going to be 413 to 496. Callum has won that game. But yeah, this was a pretty well played game by both players.
It was a very well played game. So now I don't think I've seen them put down that S. Could they have just subtracted it out?
Probably just not in view. But I'm sure it's around here somewhere.
Yeah, 'cause I did see him lift it up from his rack. I don't know. I think I've seen him put it back down.
Yeah, I mean he's just showing it to Callum so he can so Callum can verify that he gets 2 additional points because he went out and Matt had an S in his rack.
Oh, okay.
And with that, Matt's going to drop to 14-7. Still a great record to have, very close to the top. Callum's going to be 15-6. Yeah, I'd be pretty shocked if Callum weren't in first place at this point because he has a great spread. Nobody has more wins than him. Nobody has 16 or more wins. So Callum is still at the top, but Matt is not far behind him. Yeah, still got a very strong shot in this tournament.
It looks like we do have some points getting updated right now. We have the Scrabble score up here on my phone.
Yeah, I see some movement on the leaderboard, but I guess Matt and Callum's score has not been recorded or just hasn't been processed with the system that they're using.
But I think they might still be discussing that S tile too. Same pointing over there to the Y yet to the YE. Maybe he might add the S to make it a yes, but I don't know if that would be if that's what he would do.
I mean, there's not much point in discussing where the S would have gone because the game's over by that point. Callum made his outplay.
So right now they could just be discussing other plays that they could have made within each other too.
Yeah, I think right now they're probably discussing, pointing at that region of the board, talking about what I was discussing earlier about how Callum could have been significantly more defensive when he was playing stuff like Wig and not being too concerned about blocking bingo lanes that Matt could use and eventually did use. Yeah, that's if I had to guess at what they're talking about right now, that's what I would guess.
Yeah. And I'm still looking on here too, and it still says no score yet on here. Very interested to see what it comes up to. Because I know you did tally
Yeah, I
up.
think it was. Yeah, I did tally up the scores as we were
Yeah.
as the game was going on, and I have 413 for Matt and 496 for Callum.
So you have 413.
There's a chance I might have made a mistake somewhere along the way, but that's probably
Yeah.
roughly correct.
All right. Now I'm also more interested to see what it comes up to. Let's see how spot on you were. a lot better than what I could have guessed, though.
Yeah, just checking my phone to see if Matt texted it to me, and he is not quite yet.
I have. Oh wait, it just got it. So
Oh, it's
you were
updated.
close.
Oh, 405 to
Yeah,
495.
495 to 405, 495.
And, Matt drops from second to fifth. Um, but like I said, not a big deal. Very close at the near the top of the pack. Still 10 games left to play. Only behind first by a single game. So Matt's definitely still in contention to win D2 Nationals.
Oh yeah. But I mean, he's been doing good, this whole time that he has been here. I don't think I've ever really seen him go below 10th place from when I was started watching the score, at least on here. So he's been doing pretty good.
Yeah, Matt's definitely a
Yeah.
top contender in this field.
Oh yeah.
Very, very strategic player and just strategizes in a way that a lot of players are not used to, and it throws a lot of people off. Um, he tries to emulate David Gibson, who is one of the best players in history, very well known for having pretty much perfect word knowledge and also being a very defensive player. And Matt tries to be like that. He's gone through all the 7 and 8 letter words, I believe, um, at least twice. So he's done his homework. He knows tons and tons of words, and he plays very defensively. So the similarities are there, and um, yeah, he's definitely stronger than at least the great majority of this field. I would I would yeah, if I had to bet on one person winning, probably be Matt. I'd say.
My money is also on Matt as well. Oh, we got do not touch, please. Oh, okay. Wait, he's going off. Are they all done? Is that all the games for today?
Yep, that is
Oh, that was it.
that is
Okay.
all for today. Yeah, I
Okay.
think he's got the do not touch thing there because like he's got his streaming equipment.
Yeah,
So
he's probably just leaving it there
I
overnight.
think that's a wrap.
All right. But,
Yep.
it was great having you tune in with us today, David.
Yeah, it
And
was great being here, Kyla, and
thank you.
thanks for your role in the technical side and the commentary.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's been fun, and hopefully I'll be able to jump back on here tomorrow or later in the week.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be here tomorrow, and then me and you will just touch base within Matt, and we'll plan accordingly.
Sounds good, and have a good one.
You too.